Ashe, the Frost Archer. Take a map and look to the north of the north, the top of the Freljord. See that? That's where Ashe is from. Ah, the Freljord. What a beautiful, but harsh, landscape. Nice place to visit if you don't mind the constant sub-zero temperatures, biting wind, and the constant ruthless infighting between the innumerable tribes scattered here and there. Ashe was an only child, born to Grenna, chief and matriarch of an itty-bitty Avarosan tribe. It also just so happened that Ashe had the scarcely seen ability to wield magical true ice. This power let her connect with her homeland on a deeper spiritual level. She was also known as Iceborn, a proud warrior. Common knowledge pointed toward Ashe being the next in line to lead that tribe, but Ashe didn't want that. To her, all the war and tradition of making war and being magic when everyone else wasn't made her feel like she didn't belong. Really a lot to live up to, isn't it? The only one who could understand a smidge about Ashe's predicament was Sejuani, a girl from a sister tribe, also Iceborn. They'd go summertime hunting near the picturesque Ornqual rocks when the Freljord wasn't cold enough to freeze off a toe. Ashe and Sejuani bonded as close friends, happily growing up alongside one another until all of it came crashing down right as they reached their teen years. Apparently Ashe's mama, Grenna, had done something that ruffled the feathers of Sejuani's grandma, and the tribes ended up cold-shouldering one another. After that, Grenna grew restless, heading out on a grandiose journey in search of the throne of Avarosa. Midlife crisis. Said to be a treasure trove of loot and miscellaneous magic-y goodies. And if all of that was found, then Grenna could boost her tribe back into the who's who of the frozen north. All that haphazard searching for glory strained their already fragile little tribe, what with Ashe's mom trusting a bit too much in the legends. Didn't end well for Grenna. She met her end while leading a raid in a place she really shouldn't have been. And with that, Ashe was forced to flee, while most everyone in her tribe was killed off. Ashe took off, doing her darndest to put some distance between her and those tracking her, the final map of Grenna leading the way. It took her to a far-off glacier, the likely grave of Avarosa, and that's where she stumbled upon a fabled bow, forged entirely of the ever-magic true ice. She put that bow to good use, delivering frosty shards into the hearts of those who had killed her mother and kinfolk. The solitary Ashe built up her legend by aiding the countless tribes she came across. But she wasn't much interested in enslaving them. They weren't in the best of shape, destitute and downtrodden. Instead, she opted to embrace them into a new tribe as full and equal members. A lot of people like being treated that way, so her popularity skyrocketed. Many began to believe that she wasn't just toting around a magic bow. They believed Ashe to be the reincarnation of Avarosa herself, and she was going to reunite the scattered Freljordians. Feelings of belonging and purpose are excellent, but when it comes down to it, it's not going to feed all those new mouths. Ashe's followers were about to give up the ghost, starving from all that lack of food and the rigors of marching southwards. Clever young Ashe used her newfound mythical status to reach out and ally herself with some key southern tribes, the Power Players. These tribes had the means to provide for Ashe and kind, expecting her to unite enough of the Freljord to be able to pressure nearby kingdoms. Problem was, when you get all these different tribes under one umbrella, you're going to have some very necessary political navigating to do. Ashe was a war mother, a highly respected tribal leader, and tradition dictated she had to lock herself down a husband. But if she chose a husband from one of the primary tribes, the others would have hissy fits about her playing favoritsies. She could go the multiple husband route, but they'd be sure to bicker amongst themselves, which would end inevitably in all those hard-won alliances going poof. A solution presented itself. A ragged, worn-down man from a mountain tribe that had been all but exterminated. None other than Tryndamere. He wasn't magic, he wasn't spiritual, but oh damn if he could kick some ass. A reckless fighter with nothing to lose, he dominated every dueling ring he staggered into. He wanted to prove that what little remained of his clan had worth enough to be absorbed by a larger tribe. He was savagely ruthless, even rough and tumble by Freljord standards. Gossip surrounding Tryndamere figured he was steeped in magic of the dark variety. That didn't stop Ashe from adopting Tryndamere and company into her own tribe, and she took him on as the only man for her. And though their marriage started as a purely political venture, those two lovebirds quickly came to feel real love for one another. Brings a tear to your eye. The grandest Freljordian alliance in many a year is now led by Ashe. Sure, it may be tenuous at times. There's always someone scheming something, sometimes outside, sometimes in. And of course, there's the Winter's Claw to worry about. Whether or not Ashe believes in her destiny, don't dare to doubt the legend she wove herself into.